You're que lo que Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 51 of Knicks fans wildin'. Recording this after the Knicks 2-2 West Coast road trip. So I'm trying to catch up on some sleep. There was some late nights there. Daylight savings time in the middle of it, man. It was not fair. This is not a fair trip so late in the season, man. And my sleeping schedule's all over the place right now. So I'm here trying to catch up. And yeah, let's talk. Let's go right into it, man. Let's go right into it. I'm gonna bring all the guys in together. Don Juan, Zebo. Let's talk about this, my guys. Don Juan, tell the people it's really good.
Yo, what's going on? Don Juan in the building. Glad that our team is back in the East Coast. I was tired of going to sleep past 10 o'clock. I mean, it was too much. Besides that Clipper game, but Saturday we was out, doing having a good time on a Saturday watching the Knicks on a brunch or like a early bar day. But late night games had enough of it. Let's come back home, get some games going. It was a nice little break though. I've been watching a little baseball yesterday. So unfortunately saw our team DR lose. It was heartbreaking, but shout out PR. Y'all got it. Y'all had a run, especially from musically to baseball. Y'all do your thing, man. But this is Knicks fans. Wow, let's go back to the Knicks. We out here trying to regroup, trying to refocus. We got to go on this stretch. Couple games, well, not a couple games. 11 games left. We're feeling good. We're fifth seed right now. Knicks, man, we doing our thing, man. Let's keep it up.
Yo, Zebo got the Washington Heights noise in the background.
Yo, you hear it?
It's going crazy. The Washington Heights noise, man. That's what's up. But Zebo, tell the people it's really good, man. Here, you got a shout. I think.
My guys, this was good, man. Yeah, man. Listen, another accurate week for your boy, man. I told y'all we was gonna go 2-2 in this West Coast trip. It was a little rough at first, but we back
I think
home.
you
We
said
good.
4-0.
So
I gotta check the
nah,
tape.
nah, 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 nah. I definitely did not say four. No,
I'll
your
check.
boy
It's a
said
four
two
no
and
over
two.
here.
Yeah.
Your boy definitely said 2-2, man. So I got the high hand right now.
I gotta
All right,
check the
all
tape.
right.
We'll see later on what you predict, to see if you got the hand. But let's talk about this Blazers game first, fellas. It looked like the Knicks was out of it. They came out flat, and they just came out firing it after the half. Scored 42 points in the third quarter, the most points they scored all season in the third quarter. Just locking in. That bench mob really took over the game and brought us back, man. Julius did not have it in the beginning of the year. I mean, the beginning of the game, and he started attacking the paint when he saw his shot was not falling. So I was really impressed overall. It was a good win. It was a win that felt like the Knicks never get. So it felt like a good win, Don Juan. What you gotta say about that one?
Was a good one, like you said, man. I mean, that was tough first quarter to watch, bro. I tell you that. Knicks down big. I'm like, no way, not we're not starting this game like that. And it seemed like there was no coming around, especially just going back to bad habits. But man, these Knicks chipped away at that lead second quarter, third quarter come out swinging. It seemed like everything was going in. Manuel quickly goes for 14. I mean, the guy was killing it. But it was a team overall win. We saw Obi hit some nice 3 pointers. Randall did his thing, figure out how to be, how to contribute without really ruining the rhythm of the team. Josh Hart revenge game came out balling. I mean, it was a lot of contributors to this W. Shout out McBride who had a career night. But one more thing, because the Knicks did win this and they look good and a lot of things were good, but I still haven't got my answer question from the Cam Hive. What did Cam do? I heard he was gonna score more than RJ. I heard he was gonna score more than Josh Hart, score more than Quickly, score more than so many players. Honestly, I don't remember him playing. Actually, I do. He hit the side of the backboard that one 3-point shot from the corner. So, shout out to the Cam Hive. I mean, it seemed like they waving the white towel. Seemed like reality hit the fan. But and honestly, I like Cam and I wish him well, and he's getting the minutes he deserves. But geez, man, can we give up on this Cam? On the Knicks already? I'm pretty tired of this already, man. I'm pretty tired of it.
Nah, Don Juan, he threw a couple jabs there, little in honor of Creed 3 coming out. He
Mm.
threw a little jabs out there at the cam hop, man. I like it. I really like it. Zebo, what you thought about that Blazers game?
Yo, man, great overall team effort, man. Deuce McBride really stepped up for us. I mean, obviously with Jalen Brunson out there, it is going to be hard for us to, really get consistent offense. So for him to step up for us, that was really big. And so, yeah, man, I ain't really worried about Cam, man. I'm only worried about the people on this team right now. So, and we just did an overall effort. And honestly, for us to, I know it's going to sound weird, but for us to just keep Damian Lillard at 38 points, I would say that's a W because the way my man's been cooking, I mean, 38 points sounds like sounds like a pretty whole game for my boy. So for us to, keep him at 38 now, now have him score 50 and, have someone like this McBride step up because this is, these are players that we are going to be relying on once the playoff starts and at the end of the, and right now during the end of this run. So yeah, man, just shout out overall team effort.
Yeah, man. And let's shout out a couple guys. RJ Barrett. It seemed like in the third quarter, the Blazers got a little close, and you kind of got worried. And RJ hit a couple big shots. He had 22 points, 5 rebounds. You gotta give. Excuse me. You gotta give a shout out to Quickly, 26 points, 10 rebounds. Emmanuel Quickly, 6 man, my guy right now. And what about Josh Hart? You guys mentioned it. Revenge game coming back to Portland. What a big game off the bench. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of 6, plus 26 from the field, fellas. Let me mention how much Cam had, negative 27. That was for Don Juan. But
Good look at
Josh
that.
Hart, plus 26 for the game. And we talked about him. Deuce McBride, 18 points, 4 3 pointers. It felt like every three he hit was huge in the game. And Isaiah Hardenstein, 11 rebounds, 0 points, but you just felt his impact if you watched that game. You could go down the list, man. A huge, huge Knicks win, and we're excited. And it segues us to the next point. Going this West Coast trip, we talked about it last show. Just come back home as that fifth seed, you know, and we played every game without Jalen Brunson. Think about it. Every game was without Jalen Brunson. So I just want to get your thought, Zebo, on that West Coast trip. What you thought about it?
I mean, I predicted it, bro. I didn't, especially with, with Jalen Brunson with this injury. Again, I predicted a 2-2 record because again, these teams were tough. Like the Kings are a very good team. Again, the Clippers. When you have Kawhi and Paul George, you can never sleep on them. And so I did expect us to lose I expect us to lose two of these games here on the road. And so to see the resilience from this team, it just honestly, man, shout out. Again, I know I'm the Julius Randle guy, but shout out to my guy for just doing a complete 180 from the Clippers game to that LA game. My
Oh,
boy
okay. Okay.
stepped up. My boy stepped up crazy. I mean, it was bad works. It was bad works against the Clippers. I can't defend it. I can't defend his actions. He just completely lost his cool. He was about to fight everybody in the Knicks. And for him to just come back the next day and to have that big of a ball game against the Lakers, that was big. And overall, I mean, one thing I did see, which did alarm me a little bit, and also it did give me signs to really be it gave me signs to really once Jalen Brunson comes back, it one side that I did see that was positive is the fact that once we do actually move the ball, you see that the offense flows a little better. Because I feel like one thing about our team is that we're a heavy ISO team, especially when it comes to Julius Randle and Emmanuel quickly, and also when Jalen Brunson is there, same thing too. And so I would like to see moving forward is for us to start passing the ball a little more because one thing that did alarm me is the fact that we are last in assists, and so. We definitely got to start moving the ball more. We got to start making quick decisions and start putting our guys in transition. Because one thing I did see that I did like is the fact that when we do have people like Josh Hart, Obi Toppin in the game, once they're in transition, there's no one that can stop them. And for a lot of our players as well. And so, again, it was going to be tough for us, but for us to come out 2-2, and like I said, if we come out 2-2, we're still going to be the fifth seed. And look at what happened.
Yeah, man. Talking about the fifth seed, the Brooklyn Nets just lost, so we're officially 1.5 games up on Brooklyn for the fifth seed. That's huge, huge news. My thoughts on the West Coast trip. Listen, 2-2, I'll take it. All those games without Jalen Brunson. You talked about it briefly with Julius Randle. Really looked like he was reverting back to his old bad habits, and he bought it. He bought it for that Lakers game and the Blazers game. He didn't have it, but then he started doing attacking the rim, doing things that winning plays for Julius Randle. So shout out to Julius uh, for holding it down. But listen, I'm talking for I'll say 32-year-old and under Knicks fans like us. You know, if you over 32, man, shout out for listening. At least you got to see something good. But listen, my earliest memories of Knicks are like Howard Isley and Shannon Anderson, you know, and then when we went to the Keith Van Horn, Tim Thomas, Al Harrington, then we had a little fun with the Carmelo years, but then it was right back to like the Alexei Shved and Lou Amundsen and Langston Galloway, So I'm sorry if I'm bringing down the vibes, but I say that to say this, where this season feels a little different. These are games that you felt like the Knicks were going to lose. Like after that first quarter in the Blazers game, I was like, I'm about to go to sleep because it's like you just feel it. As Knicks fans, we've seen this time and time and time again. Like these guys don't have it. Even the Hornets game the other day, you saw the tired leg. You just blame it. Last game of the road trip. I'm going to sleep. But this team turned it around in the third quarter. Josh Hart, Emmanuel Quickly, these guys, they're tough, they're resilient, and that's the Knicks team this year. And I feel like that's real important to note. And it feels good. 11 games left in the season, and it feels good to get in there. Feeling good in the playoffs. Hopefully we got Jalen Brunson back now for this homestand, and we lock in these last 11 games, fellas. So, listen, I felt good. I went down memory lane in a bad way. So, let's go Knicks, man. Let's go Knicks. Don Juan, talk about that West Coast trip.
Well, what a West Coast trip it was. Like I said, man, I hated staying up. You know, us in the East Coast game expecting games to start at 7:30, chill vibes. Go to bed by 9:30, 10, or games in the 9:30, 10. That's good. You talk about games starting at 10. Come on, man. But I expected 3-1. Not gonna lie, I counted on Jalen Brunson being back. So my expectations was a little higher, but 2-2 is not bad considering we didn't have Jalen Brunson. Something that was glaring though in this trip is just how much we miss him. It's not nothing new. It's pretty obvious. Our guy Jalen Brunson pretty much damn near all star. We know how valuable he is for this team. He takes off pressure off our guys, especially the scoring load, playmaking duties as well. I mean, he gives a player like Julius Randle a peace of mind, what we saw in that Clippers game. It got a little wild, and it just seems like when pressure's on and you're not really feeling it, he's not doing good, and the team doesn't look like they're about to win. He might get in his head and whatnot, and that game, I felt like, including the refs and the physicality of that game, it got the best of him. But I also put that on the fact that he probably felt like I'm the only one that's balling right now, or not even balling, but actually putting like doing in work. But he was in his head, and I felt like Jalen Brunson is just the perfect player to get him out of that. So he was missed, and I'm glad that today there was some footage of him in MSG. He's at a hockey game today, but he looked good. He looks well. I mean, I'm not sure the condition of his foot, but hopefully he should be back after this little stretch of days off we got here. And feeling good, feeling nice. So
Yeah, I just want to harp on what you just said about Jalen Brunson coming back. The emergence of Deuce McBride, like these last few games. I mean, you could say Randall was the best player on the team the best player of the game for the Lakers game, but you could say Deuce was the best player on the Knicks for that Portland game. I mean, the man was blocking shots, hitting threes, playing tenacious defense on Damian Lillard. So his emergence, I feel like it gives us a chance to like bring in Brunson slowly. Get him another game rest maybe or two. Bringing him in slowly. But I just want to ask you guys. There's been a lot of chatter saying that maybe Tibbs should put a 10-man rotation and kind of slide McBride in there. I mean, what you guys think about that, Don Juan?
Hey, it looked good, man. He's been looking real good, and like you mentioned, that Portland game, he was the best player. I feel like he's the one that that gave the Knicks that extra boost based on the effort he was giving on both sides. Like it was like, oh, our guy that barely plays was sitting on the bench most of the season is playing and contributing and like this. Now we gotta really back him up and step up. There's no excuse that we should be down or even or even like barely winning this game against Portland, who's spiraling backwards. But in terms of McBride in the rotation, man, Tibbs, bro. Tibbs. Tibbs likes his 9-man rotation. Ever since he made the move, he never looked back, and he's maintained that that rotation in lock. And when guys are hurt, he's gonna put somebody else, but still keep it at nine man. Would I like him to be included? Of course. I mean, the guy's exciting to watch. And like I said about him in the Portland game, is just a motivation. It picks your man up. And plus, he gives IQ and Brunson some rest. So why not? There's been a long season. You got IQ and Brunson playing 30 to 35 plus minutes every game. Like our guys need some rest. But in the case where, we bring in Brunson, ease him in, I feel like Tips should consider it. I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, so you basically 50-50. You basically 50-50. For me, I would say, listen, it's hard to argue about that 9-man rotation. The Knicks have been one of the best teams since December when Tibbs went for that 9-man rotation. So it's kind of hard to argue to go. And I don't want to be so reactionary because I love that game by McBride. I'm like, he needs to play. But you talk about the emergence of Manuel quickly. You got to play him 28 to 33 minutes. You got to play Brunson, 33 to 37 minutes. It just seems like a little time crunch. And there's just not enough minutes to go around because that 9-man rotation is working. Everybody feels in the groove. You take a little rest, you come back in, and you balling. So it's tough, but listen, I would say that, to be honest, I would say that in the playoffs, it looks like we're going to play Cleveland, right? And they have two dynamic guards in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. And Miles McBride will make that tough for these players. So, I mean, it might be that Tibbs has to find a way to get him in there, especially if we play Cleveland. I think it'll be matchup oriented. If we play Philly, they got James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, that's not really gonna work. But if we play Cleveland, you might we might see Miles McBride. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Miles McBride against Cleveland. So it's a wait and see for me. But it's hard to raise that to 10-man. Especially we got to grind for the playoffs. We still fighting for this fifth seed, fourth seed. We got to keep grinding for it. But Zeba, what you thinking about McBride and putting that rotation up?
Yeah, I mean, listen, what I'd like to see in a 10-man rotation, of course, he gives us productive minutes every time he's on the floor. Even when it's shot, again, even when he's not hot like that, I feel like he gives us productive minutes on the defensive end. Honestly, when he's on the floor, the that second unit looks more alive, like it's always active. So yeah, would I like to see the 10-man rotation? Of course, but again, like Don Juan said, we're talking about Tibbs, and so I don't necessarily see that happen. Again, if he's not playing McBride, he's probably going to be riding quickly for 40 if we go to overtime 50 minutes, and that's just unfortunately what our coach is. So I don't necessarily see it happening, but I would like to see it, and especially right now while Jalen Brunson is injured, to give him that experience right now in these last 10, 12 games, I would definitely like to see it. Now, when it comes to the playoffs, I'm assuming that they'll probably keep that 9-man rotation just because you already know what your players are, but let's see what happens. I definitely want to see how this injury is going to be for Brunson. But I think for the last 10, 12 games, I would like to see a 10-man rotation for my boy.
Oh man, let's see if Tibbs listens. 10-man rotation. I don't see it happening because there's been chances where you like, all right, Tibbs. RJ's hurt, Brunson is hurt. Let's switch it up, man. Let's see what we got. Dig into somebody else, and he's just like, nah, man. I'm not with it. and he's really hell bent on this 9 man rotation. And like I said, it's hard to blame him. It's hard to blame him because the Knicks have been hot since December. Um, and we'll just wait and see. Like I said, I think for that Cleveland series, if we play Cleveland in the playoffs, it's something to think about. It's something we have to definitely think about. But let's switch gears real quick here, bro. Let's talk about Mitchell Robinson after that Blazers game. He went on Snapchat out of all social media platforms, and
Yo, roast him, Triple M,
he
roast him.
said
Come
that
on.
he's tired of running cardio, basically saying he wants touches, man. And yeah, it's time to get roasted, Mitchell Robinson. I mean, what touches do you want? You go out in the summer, putting all these videos up, putting it between your legs, dunking it, and shooting threes and shooting free throws and doing all these things. And then come game time, and you have a center all the way in the paint while you at the 3 point line and you're not even looking at the rim. You looking for Jalen Brunson and you saying, help, help, help me up here, help me up here. So listen, you think the coaches are really, if Mitchell Robinson is showing off this bag in practice, shooting and putting it on the floor, they're gonna be like, nah, don't do that. We don't need you to do that. He's just not showing it. And these things are just for show. So listen, Mitchell Robinson is one of the best offensive rebounding players in the game. Man, stick to that. Stick to that. Grab every single rebound that goes up. I said this a few shows ago. Sometimes I think the Knicks' best offense is missing a shot because Mitchell Robinson gets that board. So I feel like he got a couple double doubles and it got to his head and he started feeling himself and he started. But listen, Nurkic, whatever his name is, he centers like that, they don't give Mitch room to work. And when you have no offensive bag, I mean, what can you do? I mean, like, what can you do with him instead of throw? You can't just always throw lobs. But listen, in that first quarter, Julius Randle shot 11 times. I think he was like 3 for 11. So you could get his frustration. I think he's a young player, 24 years old. You get his frustration, but Randle, he's shown that he can get that leash, and you have not. So I just feel like you got to be mature, man. The Knicks got that W. You got to be mature. Move on, man. Don't go on Snapchat. Not even Instagram. Snapchat. Like, who's on Snapchat? Who is on Snapchat?
Bro.
And put that. But no, hold on. What you got to say about Mitch?
Hey, Mitch, man. Look, I'm not mad that he's asking for a bigger role, like you said, Triple M. Like, there's definitely ways we could involve him and avoid, an ISO play that's forced, when you don't need to. So, I respect that from Mitch. You gotta think better of yourself as well. You always gotta have high expectations, but you know, at the same time, what are you doing on social media expressing yourself? We don't like you could keep that in house right now. That's setting up a bad little energy going into this break. Especially coming off of back to back dubs where he actually didn't play well in both of those games that we won. So it goes to show you that he's probably had that in his head for the last few days that he thought, maybe I should be playing better. Like you said, Triple M, he came back from that injury, killing it, dominant. But then these last two games, is like, what's going on, man? Do you actually believe in this team, or you're that player that's kind of like an outcast? Because iHeart been balling, iHeart did his thing, and he had 0 points, if I'm not mistaken, both Lakers and the Blazers game. So it's like the guy's been contributing, doing his thing, not really getting any plays ran for him, but he's quiet and playing his role. And guess what, Mitch? You were doing that for some time, playing your role, playing well, and they got you paid. Why are you trying to change it up now when it's like, dude, just do what you gotta do? And free throws is terrible. So you already go by the free throw percentages. What makes you think he's gonna be hitting mid ranges or doing stuff? I mean, there was a play against Anthony Davis that he tried to post him up and he fumbled the ball. Like, bro, come on now, come on, man.
Yeah,
We gotta get you
man.
back to reality. It's time to, we're really about to go on this playoff run, and this is what we got to talk about right now. Like, this is not good, man. This is not good. Bad timing.
Yeah, bad time. He's killing my fantasy team. I'm in the
Facts.
playoffs. I know Don Juan has him in another league. I have him in some other league. He had 2 points and like one rebound last game, and the 2 points were by mistake. They first gave it to Josh Hart. Oh man, Zebo. talk about this Mitch thing quickly, man, because I'm getting kind of mad. And I have no hope for him on Saturday against Jokic. I just don't know what he's gonna do there.
You know what? You know what, bro? I find a solution. You remember when Kendrick Perkins used to play for the Thunder. You know how they would start the game, the first play, bro. They'll just give him they'll give him the one little post up, the one little hook shot to make him feel good. That's what we got to start doing for my boy. But I'm just nervous because again, like Don Juan said, what you want to do? You want us to give it to you in the post? Like you really want us to give like you really want us to give you the ball like outside of the basket? Like do you really want jump? Like do you really want to do that? Come on, bro. That's not your game. Like you shooting what 48% from the line? Like that's I ain't gonna lie. It be looking nasty every time Mitch is on the free throw line. Like I'm legit closing my eyes because
Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen, and so I don't understand where this is coming from. Now, you did mention the fact that in the first quarter, Julius Randle, and again, Julius Randle is one of the best first quarter scorers in the league. And I do feel like there is times where Julius does miss that pass, which it disappoints me sometimes because he is actually a very good passer. So and there's sometimes there is opportunities for Mitch there right under the basket, but I hope that's what he's talking about. I hope he's not talking about having the offense kind of run towards him and some for like post ups. Like
Mm.
that's not your thing. So yeah, man, my boy's wilding with this one.
So you're
Like,
saying
but like I said,
it's not really a coach's thing. It's more of the players
yeah,
actually trying
mm.
to get him involved. Okay.
Yeah. I'm doing the Al Horford when Mitch is at the free throw line with that laser beam. I'm like, oh
oh my
nah, like
god,
yo,
bro.
he's looking
Yeah.
like yo, what's going on there,
But like I
man?
said, bro, we just gotta do the Kendrick Perkins, bro. Just give him that first little play. Let's see what he does with it. Let's see what he does with it.
Once
Talk to your boy Randall.
once
Talk
he
to you.
break
Yo, the Knicks run the same play every first play of the game. It's kind of
for real.
crazy. It's kind of crazy. I saw it and I've been looking at it every game. They run the same exact play.
Yo, we're
It's
gonna have to start, yo. We're gonna have to start banning on that.
yeah, because the point is for the point guard because they pass it to the center, shift it to the point guard, and he does what he does. Usually Brunson goes all the way for the layup. So we're gonna have to start betting Jalen Brunson first basket every game. It's gonna
Mm.
hit most of the time. We'll see. But yeah, fellas, man. Just wrapping up that West Coast trip. A lot happened as we can see, but the guys are finally home. We play the Nuggets on Saturday, so we'll see what it do. But before we talk about that last game, we gotta talk about something that went down today. Richard Jefferson, man. You know it's a slow Knicks day when Richard Jefferson is making the round. That's how you know the Knicks have a few days off. There's nothing to do. So Richard Jefferson makes a round. And we're gonna show this little clip about Richard Jefferson.
You hate us. You hate us. Y'all hate y'all. Knicks fans hate the Knicks more than any player can hate the Knicks. So I don't know what y'all keep blaming it on us for. If y'all win games, y'all be happy. Okay? I don't care if they win or lose.
And there it is. There it is, Richard Jefferson. And a lot of Knicks fans today, they kind of agreed with Richard Jefferson. They said that Knicks fans do hate their players more than the media hates their players. And I found that to be like Knicks fans are selling their soul right now to Richard Jefferson, man. I did not agree with anything Richard Jefferson said there. I mean, listen, are Knicks fans passionate? Yes. Do we boo our players? Yes. But that doesn't mean we hate them. I think he's confusing the word hate for passion, you know? Giving an example like in baseball, Aaron Judge, he got booed in the playoffs because he was striking out all the time. I mean, that's being passionate and being like, why are you striking out all the time? But when this man signed a 10-year, 390 or whatever was the case, everybody was jumping out the window, happy he was back, you know? So, and just going back to the Knicks, Julius Randle, you got a lot of heat last year. I see a lot of Julius Randle jerseys coming back around in the garden and stuff like that. Like, Knicks fans are back in. So, do I think is there a section of Knicks fans that are open and are a little we talk about it all the time. Toxic Knicks Twitter, toxic Knicks Instagram is out there. It's true. But to say that Knicks fans hate Knicks more than the media, that's just false, and I did not agree with that with RJ, and I saw a lot of Knicks fans agreeing, and I just couldn't believe it. So I don't know how you guys feel though. Don Juan started off.
Well, it's funny that RJ starts off that, well, ends that clip saying, what was that he said, I don't care if the Knicks win or lose, but realistically, every time the Knicks lose, you always got something to say, some little smart, some little, some little slight, some little sub, always on the Knicks and the fan base. Like, this has been going on for years. But it is what it is. I mean, what can I expect from a guy that played with the Nets for a good time, a good period, and he's in the media, so just like any other media person, they've been taking jabs at the Knicks for years now. But don't get me wrong, man. I actually I have to agree. I mean, put it this way, I don't agree, but the statement is slightly true. Just because on Twitter, bro, it was toxic. Prior to now, I mean, there you still find some toxicity, you still find some hate. And guess what? These players, they're Knicks. The front office, they're Knicks. And the coach is a Knick. And people out there really hate those three parts of our team. Maybe not all three. There's a lot that don't like all three, but every single part of that is our team, and people really dislike them. Maybe now is a little sweet because we got on this little run and we're doing good, and that's changed a bit. But we can't get it confused, man. There's a lot of hate within our own fan base. I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but the statement is partly true. Statement is partly true because there's a lot of Nick haters out there that are fans. This is crazy, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I
Honestly, I don't
mean,
understand.
it's tough though when an egg emoji hits you up and just tweets all day. You know, that was one thing that Knicks fans took very like passionate about was we sold out MSG every single day, even when we was trash. And I just feel like, yeah, there was tourists and stuff like that coming to the garden, but there was still fans in that arena. And I don't know, man. I don't really see it. But Zebo, what you got to say about that?
See, but you mentioned it, bro. You're talking about the one or two trolls that you see on the internet that create these fake pages and make these
It's more than one
ridiculous
or
comments.
two. It's a
That's
good
more than one or
section.
two, bro.
One or two.
And they built
It's a
a bit of a
minority, bro. But
following.
it's not a majority, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I found it very disrespectful, bro. Because hate is not the word. Passionate, yes. Are we very critical about our team? Absolutely. But as far as hate though, that's too strong, especially talking about the majority. Like the minority, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you'll get these fans that will say, things out of left field where you're kind of looking at them a little side-eyed. But again, that's not the majority, that's the minority. And so I honestly, bro, I found this number one. Richard Jefferson is like the weakest link out of all the analysts. So I don't know. So and like Don Juan said, he honestly, bro, I think he actually is the one that really hates the Knicks, and he actually said it on TV that he hates the Knicks. So first of all, his take, bro, I can't even take it seriously, and I'm not going to. And for him to say hate, man, honestly, I find it disrespectful. Are we passionate? Absolutely, but hate is just a super strong word. I feel like most of our critiques of our players, especially when you talk to actual Knicks fans that really watch the games, has been pretty accurate. So yeah, nah, he's 100% wrong.
Yeah, man. Zebo, talk about that.
yeah,
Zebo, say it with your chest, man. That's what I'm talking
yo,
about, bro. Good
Yeah,
stuff
bro,
right
he
there.
talking
yo,
crazy for no
yo,
reason, bro.
love,
Especially when
yo,
we win it too.
love is passion, and hate is passion too, guys. Come on now,
Oh, Don Juan dropping some
come
Aristotle
on,
on
man.
here, man. Look, you got a little Aristotle, you got a little passion,
Come
you got
on,
a little bit
man.
of everything here on the show on Nick fans. Wild. Nah, yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't. Richard Jefferson. Maybe I'm being a little biased because I just can't stand the guy, but whatever might be the case. Let's go back to the New York Knickerbockers. Fellas, 11 games left in the season, man. You know, we're going to have a show in
Bro,
2 weeks, and it might be a playoff preview. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that, man. I'm just so excited. I'm so pumped. But as we do on this show, we just focus on the next 4 games. And they're not that easy, fellas. They're not that easy. the season just continuously grind out. It's a grind out season, man. We're finally back at home on Saturday against the Nuggets. We play the Timberwolves on Monday. Then we do a little Florida trip, get in the sun, feel a little warm.
Mm.
We play the Heat and the Magic. I believe those games are Wednesday and Thursday,
Yeah, back to back. Yep.
back to back. So it's not an easy. It's not it's not an easy, especially that T Wolves games. I mean, the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is balling right now. He's looking tough. Nuggets obviously first in the West, even though they seem like they're sleepwalking their way to the finish line. The Heat, the Heat always gives us problem. Even though we 2-0 against them, you can never overlook the Heat and the Magic. That's just a tough team. That's just a tough team. They beat the Celtics, I think, 4 times or 3 times, something crazy.
Damn.
So it's a
Damn.
tough team. So, fellas, I don't do no more predictions. So we gotta. I'm gonna start off with Zebo since he's been predicting correctly. Zebo, what you gotta say? You got your fours
Right
up.
now,
Oh,
right
you
now, I'm
got your. Oh, I
just.
thought you had your fours up.
Oh no, 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 no! I'm just feel me. I'm just right now. I'm cooking right now. I'm
He might be
cooking
trying
right
to
now.
tell us
Hold
the
on.
four is coming
I'm
out
trying to
somehow.
tell it. Yeah, no, I'm trying to predict the future right now. But nah, no, honestly, for real, I see us 3-1, man. I think, yeah, I see us 3-1. I think we could take three of these games. I'm nervous about the T Wolves and Nuggets games. Those are the two that really catch my eye. Number one with the Nuggets, because obviously we got Jokic coming, and honestly for Mitchell Robinson, yo, bro, if you really want to be if you really want to be part of this offense, you really got to show out against against the MVP. So let's see. And then with the T Wolves game, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Carl Anthony Towns might try to make his debut from injury. So depending if that does happen, with Rudy Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns in the same team, that's going to be tough. So let's see. But yeah, those are the two games that really do scare me. But I still see us going 3-1 because I see us at some point within that stretch, Jalen Brunson coming back.
Okay, okay, that's a valid point, Don Juan. What you thinking?
Well, I usually look ahead, and try to do my little predictions, so I'm ready to give a nice answer to this. But I don't know, it's a little tough when you start looking at all these teams. A lot of these teams are seem to be clicking at the right time, except for the Nuggets. I mean, they were looking bad, but they just won today, right? Today or yesterday,
Hmm.
they just won and they played good. So thank God they're not ending a streak
Even
on
though it was
us.
against the Pistons.
Oh well, then who's not beating the Pistons, right? But I'll say 2-2. Not gonna lie, I'll play it safe. I'll play it safe considering that Brunson is still not back. I was really hoping he'd be back last during the West Coast trip, and he wasn't. And realistically, we really can't force him, man. We really can't force him back. So I'm gonna go 2-2. It seemed like they playing it safe with him as well. Our guys have been playing good. Things are clicking. But when you got a team like the Nuggets who are one of the top teams in the West, we beat them once, but we kind of stole that one out in Denver, man. They showed out for you, Triple M, I know, but we stole that one. And you got the Heat where we hit a game winner, a, a Hail Mary from Julius Randle saves the day, and I know they're
Facts.
gonna come out trying to trying to win that game and make a statement because we've been looking good against the Heat this year, and I know for a fact they're gonna come out swinging. I know they're gonna come out swinging, especially at home. And Miami, even though New York always shows out and makes a good presence out there, I feel like the Heat will embrace that and show out. And then you got the lowly Magic, who, yes, they got a pretty young, impressive team. I mean, I feel like that should be a dub because the Knicks, we win games like this nowadays. We win games like these,
Yep.
games that we overlook. And I'm pretty sure that same thing that happened with the Hornets is not gonna happen against the Magic. I promise you that. And knowing the fact that the Magic did us dirty last year, Magic were one of the worst teams in the league, but for somehow against the Knicks, they would always win games. And another place where the Knick fan base always shows out. So we
I was
go
about to
be
say
in
that.
Orlando, man. Go be crazy. Might as well call it a home game. The Heat, you said my home game. Or Magic though. Nah, a lot of New Yorkers out there, and I can't wait to see that because you know they're gonna be shy. They're gonna be chanting for Obi. They're gonna be chanting for RJ. It's gonna be crazy out in Orlando. But 2-2, I'm gonna play it safe. I mean, I feel excited for a 2-2. I'm not gonna lie, but I think right now we just gotta win games and play good, man. Make we can't be trying new things. We need to stick to our guns and play some good competitive ball as we going into the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I'm down to go to Orlando, man. I wish I could go to Orlando. I wish I could go to Orlando, man.
That'll be a dope
Ooh,
game.
that's gonna be fire. But yeah, 2-2 will be good because I just tweeted this at Triple M. What's up? You already know, man. Twitter. The Nets play Denver. They play Cleveland back to back, and then they play Miami. So these
Mm.
two teams, they're gonna be throwing haymakers at each other. You know that three teams, Cleveland twice, back to back, and then Miami. So if we could stack up some wins, go 3-1, go 2-2. I mean, we could do curtains. We could lock up that playoff breath early. So we just gotta stack up some wins. Denver's looking shaky. They're looking beatable right now. It looks like they had their minds towards the playoff already. So, but we just don't play good at 1 p.m. games. I don't know what it is. So we'll see what it do, man. But yo, thank y'all for watching here. Knicks fans, while on episode 51, man, we got playoff. I don't want to jump thinking, but we got playoff thinking, man. We got playoff thinking. We have something special when the Knicks clinch the playoffs. So let's see what happens. But thank you for locking in, man. Thank you for locking in. Make sure to like, subscribe on the show, and just be happy with these next 41 wins, 41-30, man. That's really, really impressive. Gotta kick it to my god, Don Juan. What you guys say?
Don Juan signing out. Check out the guys off the ball who's holding it down. Don't forget, like Triple M just said, make sure to give us the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel because some good things coming soon. So make sure you want to stay tuned with us.
Yes.
That's it.
Yo, it's crunch time right now. So you already know, man. Keep liking, keep subscribing, man. Me and my guys, we're gonna keep putting out that fire. So, just keep showing love to us, man. We, again, big things coming.
Yes, sir, man. You already know Knicks fans wildin' coming at you, man. Episode 51. Shout out to y'all, man. Peace out.